Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell on today. I have some guests waiting, and you guys are going to really appreciate the show. We're going to hit you off with some information. Yes, I know I said I was taking a break, which I did. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you guys why I'm actually back and what I found out. Stocks with Josh. Say hello to the good people.
Hey, Larry, thank you for having me on the show today. I am so excited and pumped about the content that you and I discussed about this particular show and some of these plays that I know people are interested in hearing about. So I'm ready to get into it, man.
Alrighty. So for you guys to know, we just got through with Stocks with Josh's. He had me on his show. We're doing these pop-ups. Josh contacted me today and said, hey, I know you're taking a break, but hey, let's just do a pop-up and feed the people. I said, you know what? You're right. And so I want everyone at the end of watching this video, after you check out the links below in the description, then I want you to go over to Stocks with Josh's page and watch that video because we discuss some stocks and crypto that we're not discussing on this video, okay? So you want to go over there, and while you're over there, make sure you hit the subscribe and that notification bell and hit all like you're doing for me now if you're new, all right? Let's get right into it. There's a lot that's going on, and I'm just going to tell you guys that I did some buying today, and I want you guys to know that I bought some Apple, I bought some Tesla, I bought some Disney, I bought some VOO, I bought some Sound, and I bought some ARK, A-R-K-K. So I was shopping today. And there's reasons why. We'll dive into some of them, not all. And then we're going to talk about ticker symbol HE, Hawaiian Electric, okay? And so let's go over the Apples and the Teslas real briefly. Josh, we're going to keep this one moving really quick. And because Josh, for those of you that don't know, is the best technical analyst, period. You're not going to find one better. I've been knowing this gentleman for 25 years. You're just not going to find one better, okay? So you're here, all right? So Josh, I bought some Apple today because in this range, Apple was showing me that it is a good buying range. So let me explain ranges for 1 minute, Josh, and this may help some of your followers out. If you are looking at a technical analyst or even myself, and we see a trade range between support and resistance, that does not last for the whole year. It's just in this time segment. So it's very important that you watch these videos every single day because one news story changes everything. All right. So we were looking. So let's start with, you know what? We're going to start with Tesla, right? We were looking at Tesla at 225, right? And Josh called it to 225 and below. So it's important. Josh, I want you to take a few minutes and talk about Tesla, and then I'm going to wrap up with Tesla.
Yeah, well, okay, just at the beginning of this last week, Larry, support for Tesla was right around 237 to 239, right? But I came out Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and I said, guys, this thing is weak. It's not showing strength. I don't like it. It's going to go lower. We were patient, and the lower that we thought it would go to would be 225. Now, we did come down to 225. It did vacillate beneath 225, and two times it came up and touched 225 range. But then after that, it broke down, which was a bearish sign, and we went to our next level of support at 211. And, you know, now this puts us, Larry, well over a 30% correction. It's lost near 1/3 of its value in just 30 days, man, 1 month, it's come back.
Yep.
Almost 1/3 of its value lost. There's good reasons that has been shaved off. A lot of it was profit taking because remember, this thing was $100 at the beginning of this year. But for me, I'm looking for a bounce on Tesla. And so I did buy some additional Tesla calls today.
You're not the only one, Josh. I want you guys to look at this. If you don't have the Weeble app, the Moomoo app, the Moomoo app will be the second link below in the description. Here's why you need the Moomoo app. Okay, so this came through Moomoo this morning, Josh, and I wanted to share this, right? This is in the options market, okay? So let's just go down. Let me see if I can blow that up a little for you guys. Look at this. We're talking about options, right? Go down there. Call contracts, look at that, account for 52.2% of the whole trading volume. The most traded calls are contracts of what? What's the strike price?
225.
$225, expiring August 18th. To your point. So it's not just you, Josh. This is what people are looking at. These are options, okay? And it shows where the put options were. This came in this morning, okay? And I suggest that you guys, number one, understand options, which we do a lot of teaching about options. For those of you that don't know, I added an extra over an hour more worth of content just on options. If you don't know anything about options, you will after you look at the way that I took my time and explain basic single leg options. Because once you know a single leg options, everything else makes sense. Now, the options market, Josh, I don't know if you know this, but they are talking about a not a 1 day option, but you can get into an option on Monday and it expires on Monday. They are about to approve that next. They're afraid that that's going to shift the overall market. That's a whole nother video. Okay. So what Josh was saying about the 225 level with Tesla was absolutely dead on. Anything else before we move to Apple?
The only thing I want to say is if you're a long-term investor in Tesla, and I personally am, and I think that Tesla's having a great 2023, I'm not going to look past the fact that we just had 6 months of them coming out and kicking butt. We've got the Tesla truck that's roaming the streets as we speak. And this company is well positioned building new giga plants, and they're not. We're going to have some trouble. We're in a moment of profit taking and some volatility. But if you're a long-term Tesla investor and you didn't buy when this thing came 30% down, I don't know what to tell you guys.
Yeah, I agree. There's a time to buy and there's a time to sit on the sideline. Okay. You guys know that I missed that first bottom ish, right? So we just have to trade the ranges that we're in. But don't cry for me, Argentina. We killed them call options. Those of you that's been following me, we did so many, probably 15 to 17 different call options. Made a lot of money with Tesla. We're going to continue to do that. But in this market, I want to say that the Fed has released its minutes. Okay. Then we have Jackson Hole next week. The Fed may say something that spooks the market. Understand that in the Jackson Hole meeting, because it's not a federal meeting, he's more relaxed and he's more loose-lipped. Okay, so there's speculations on what he might say, whether he will be hawkish or dovish, right? The truth of the matter is no one knows. So be careful. Make sure those stop losses are set. Let's move to Apple, Josh. Apple is another stock that I bought today not because I knew it was going to go a little green, not by much. It's not even a full point. But in this trading range, it is a good range for someone like me to simply accumulate in these big tech. So today, I didn't get into any options. All I did was buy the stock. Josh, go into Tesla right quick.
Okay, well, Apple. So basically,
I'm sorry, Apple.
I called support on Apple at $172, and I had a pretty good feeling that it was going to bounce there, and it did. And looking at the fib level, and we're not going to pull that up right now, but the top of the fib level above us is $176. And so I said that it wouldn't even shock me if we bounced off 172 and we came up to 176 by the end of Friday. Now, we've been vacillating right beneath 175, and it would not shock me if we hit 176 after hours, but I'm going to tell you guys that if we don't do it today, then we're going to do it Monday. And so far, again, Apple, if you're looking for great as a long-term Apple buyer, if you're looking for more than a 13% pullback to add to your Apple position, I don't know what to tell you, because then you're really not bullish, and maybe you shouldn't even own Apple, guys, because it just pulled back 13%, and there's nothing wrong with Apple. It's still the market leader for all stocks in market cap size and performance. endorsed by Warren Buffett, who owns almost, I think, 4 to 6% of the company. And
Yes.
so again, Apple, even if you're not doing the swing trade, 172 was a pretty nice entry.
An apple a day keeps poverty away. All right, so let's. So I'm going to quickly breeze through some things. Okay, so we know that China is having economic problems. The unemployment for youth, for the young people in China, is astronomical. Their economy literally is falling apart. Then you have Evergrand that actually filed for chapter for protection here in the U.S. The Evergrand is in their real estate market, all right? And real estate and banking are the two, to me, crumbling institutions, even here in the US, that could cause us to go into a recession. I'm just going to call it. Just because Jamie Dimon comes out and says everything's okay with the banking, I don't trust that. I still think that there's more shoes to fall. I've been saying that in the banking industry, okay? And Evergrande, which is real estate, commercial real estate, where do you think they get their loans? Real estate and banking are tied together by the leg, okay? And so we have to watch out. So because of that, of course, now all of the Chinese ADRs are going down. As a matter of fact, I have a better one here. Look at that. All of the Chinese ADRs are tanking, right? They're tanking. Now, as we can see, Baba's down, Badu's down, JD, and other ones. All of the Chinese ADRs are down based on this bad news. Now, I left a gem over there at Stocks with Josh's page, and that was that if you're going to short Alibaba, right, always take a look at JD.com, okay? NEO is kind of like, it's different than the rest of them, if you ask me, because NEO kind of reacts with Tesla a little bit. But whenever I get ready to short Alibaba, I also do a short on JD based on bad news in China. And I always make more money on JD. It always go on that reflection. But now going up, not the same, just on shorting. I always write down when I see correlations. Josh, take a minute and dive into that.
Okay, so I wanted Larry to cover the big question, why would it matter if Evergrande collapsed? And I wanted to read a segment from a news article that I read today. There are several reasons why Evergrande's problems are serious. First, many people bought property from Evergrande even before building work began. They have paid deposits and could potentially lose that money if it goes bust. Number two, there are also companies that do business with Evergrande, firms including construction and design firms and material suppliers who are at risk of incurring major losses, which could force them into bankruptcy. And then third is the potential impact on China's financial system. If Evergrande defaults, banks and other lenders may be forced to lend less, which brings us to a very similar problem, Larry, that we're dealing with here in the U.S., is this coming credit crunch. You know, the U.S. has got its own reasons for its credit crunch, but here, the second largest economy in the world, Larry, is China, and they have a big reason why they could be dealing with a credit crunch. But now at this moment, if you're feeling the FUD, let's take a step back and remember that it's these types of moments that the market, you're going to panic. People are going to panic sell the news, right? But Wall Street foresaw this, and they were selling 6 months ago. And now on the news, we're going to find that they might be taking a position, because here's the bottom line. The same article goes on to say, is Evergrande too big to fail? And it says, the very serious potential fallout of such a heavily indebted company collapsing has led some analysts to suggest that Beijing may step in. And so, guys, that's all that the smart money has been waiting on. They're way ahead of the game. They have been selling the rumor, potentially buying the news. The news that's going to come out and cause all of these ADRs to pop is going to be President Xi stepping in. Now, what just happened 30 days ago? President Xi already came out, probably knowing what was going on in his own country. Knew. Don't tell me they don't know what's happening in China.
He knows, because he was talking about low interest rate loans and stimulus.
Take it.
He was talking about stimulus and low interest rate loans because he had a meeting. I have a friend over there in China. He had a meeting with all of the business leaders. You know, when he calls, they come, or should I say, when she calls, they come. Badooms.
Yeah.
So they had the meeting, and he knows all of this data, and he knows this is going to hit the fan, but he doesn't want to look bad. And so there's going to be some sort of stimulus package, right? And I make the most money when the FUD comes, all right? The fear, uncertainty, and doubt. When everything goes red with these Chinese ADRs, that's when I make money going up. And yes, I enter into some call options, all right? And vice versa. Okay. So hey, we're gonna keep it moving. Let me take a station break. And I just want you guys to know that this is sponsored by Stock Up You. Stock Up You. Come learn and earn. All right, look at this. We got charting with this gentleman right here, Josh. Learn the basics of charting, options, okay? And I just added an entire hour more. It's called Larry Jones Momentum Options Trading. And I go in real time and I talk to me like I'm three. That's what I do. I break it down so anyone can understand options, okay? And then I don't know why this is coming up like this, but get up to 15 free stock with Moo. Now, Moo is where I saw that blurb about the options, right? On Tesla, right? Proving that Josh was right on his support and resistance, right? But I got that news blurb from the Moo trading app. So download it, deposit a minimum of $100 and get up to 15 free stock based on your deposit amount. Now, Josh, let's get into this. This will be the last one we talk about. And you and I can do this forever and a day, like on many stocks. We're just going to have to do these more often. Ticker symbol HE, all right? Hawaiian Electric. Now, Hawaii, especially Lahaina, where the fire is very near and dear to my heart. I've been there over five times, I believe. My favorite place in the world. The tree, I call it the tree of life, is like I just go there and I eat dinner there where all of the fire, and unfortunately those people perish. But now this electric company, on Wednesday, literally while I was taking a break and not making videos, literally 5 minutes before closing bell, I entered into a small put position, right? And just at closing bell, it went up over 250%. And of course, I popped it with literally probably 1 minute left until closing bell. It was a small position I entered into, nothing to write home about, but it went up over 250%. And Josh, I want you to take HE, and you don't have to give a backstory. Most people know about HE already. It's their power company. They're being sued because they didn't cut off the power lines, which video shows that an arc from their power lines may have even started the fire. But because of the hurricane winds flaming it, the fires was moving faster than a car would. And unfortunately, a lot of people perished. Homes were decimated. And Josh, you take it. I have an idea of something we could do together, but you could take it from there and then I'll close it out.
Okay, so yeah, I covered this, Larry, the comparison between Hawaiian Electric and Pacific Electric out in California that had the exact same problem, and eventually they ended up filing bankruptcy, Chapter 11, which allowed for some shareholders to be not everything to be lost. But I'm going to give you guys the bullish and the bearish case here. I want you guys to really pause. If you're bullish, then listen carefully to the bearish case. If you're bearish, listen carefully to the bullish case. So real quick, we're going to talk about Chapter 11. I'm going to read this to you guys. So for perspective, stock values are adversely affected by bankruptcy speculation and even more so by the actual filing. After filing for Chapter 11, the company's stock will be delisted from the major exchanges. Common stock shareholders are last in line to recover their investments behind bondholders and preferred shareholders. Okay, so now this does not mean that Hawaiian Electric will be delisted, but for perspective, in just the last 30 days alone, and really in the last week, this has dropped over 70%, almost 75%. Now, on my show, I've covered it this last week a couple times, and I told everybody where we were going to be looking to possibly catch a bottom position because of an oversold moment and get a pop up, and that was between 12 and $10. It hit $10 on the nose, and that proved to be a pretty good spot to get a nice little bounce. But I've been saying to sell the pops because I think ultimately this thing has to go into the teens. Okay, that it's got to go into the single digits. I meant to say $9 to $8 range. The bad news has not even been flushed out. I guarantee you that if they filed Chapter 11, this thing would drop even harder. So I want to be clear: this is not a buy and hold investment.
No.
We're looking for spots to catch the bottom, right, of a massive move. We caught those. We caught it once at 14. Larry was in that. I was in that. It jumped up to 17 the next morning. That was an opportunity to sell. I came right out and told you guys the next area where it could bounce is between 12 and 10. That proved to be correct again. But now that we've gotten this bounce, I would say caution, go to the short side now because there's going to be room for this to come down some more. We're not at a turning point. We're not at an inflection point. We could vacillate right back to our recent high again. We could even go to $17, but I would begin to take profit on your bounce from 10, and I would be looking for it to come back up and fail and then take it short again, Larry. Those are my thoughts. I do have some thoughts, if you don't mind. Can I share on just some of what's going on in Maui? We're talking just a few seconds. Is that okay?
All right, just take a few seconds. Go ahead.
All right. The bottom line, guys, is that some of the things that I talked about the other day are just getting confirmed. I brought some speculation, even some hearsay, talked about some of the people that are to blame. Right now, they're crucifying Hawaiian Electric, but there are some extremely ominous things, ominous news stories. I found out that the chief of police ordered two things that have been confirmed. He ordered that the water get shut off. The entire city was on fire, and he ordered the water be shut off.
Why would he do that, Josh?
Oh, dear Lord, brother. I'm going to tell you. Well, I shudder to think about why he would do that. But then it's been confirmed, Larry, that he ordered the roads were blocked. He ordered the roads were blocked. Now you say, who is this guy? Is he a good Hawaiian, a native-born resident? No, this dude's an out-of-towner that only recently was given his position.
And the gentleman that was in charge of the air sirens, right, that didn't cut those on, the sirens, yes, the sirens were for tsunamis, right? He resigned today. I don't know if you know that. He just resigned and left. So there's a lot of problems. Go ahead and finish, please.
Well, just two more points that everybody needs to hear. This is not about stock. This is not about investing. Everyone needs to be aware of what's going on in this country. Those are U.S. citizens over there on those Pacific, on those islands. And you know what? We know that all these people that never wanted to give up their land and had refused to sell for generations, we know that they were either killed or they were off their lands. But now, Larry, the buildings that were not burned down, and the apartment buildings that were in the nearby, the governor had ordered an eviction notice telling them that to leave their homes by police order, get out of the area. Now, Larry, I don't even know what to tell you. I'm so upset about this.
You and I know that, and Josh has relatives there, and I have friends there, right? There's a church there, and we'll end with this. I'll tell people why I'm back on another video. Because this is a hotbed. That is some of the most expensive land in our country, in the U.S., period, real estate wise. And there has always been a battle to take control of that real estate. You could find literally a shack, and I mean a 10-roof shack close to the ocean, and it's $1 million. Right, Josh?
Absolutely.
And people,
5 million.
Yeah, 5 million. And what I mean, a shack. I mean 1,000 square foot shack, and it's just a 900 square foot shack, literally with a tin roof. And I'm not going to speculate. We're just going to see how this plays out. But Josh was telling me that someone said, "Hey, I don't really want to profit off of it." Josh, I'll tell you this. This is just me. If I could find a way to buy it. I don't want it to do with options. It's just risky. Well, I'm not going to say that. But I want you and we could do this off the records. And I want you to, I see where the stock is going. You see where the stock is going. If I can make any money, the little money that I made, well, I made about $1,300. Okay. I'm telling you guys that is going to the Hawaiians. Now, there's a church there that I know. And if you've been to Lahaina, soon as you get off at the airport, everyone passes by this big church. Okay. So I happen to know the pastor there. I've been there, right? There are people sleeping all over that church and they are feeding and clothing. So that's where my money is going. So any money I make off of this play, I'm sending, this is me. I'm not asking anyone else to do it. When I got ready to say this, I was going to say half, but every dime that I make off of if I enter into this play, I am sending to Hawaii, to Lahaina. And if I could get there and not be a distraction, I'm going to go there. And if I got to sleep on that church floor, I'm going to try to contact them. And I'm going to try to stay there for a couple of days and just take care of people. That's what I want to do. Josh, have closing words, please.
Yeah, thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry, for giving me an opportunity to speak on this. I just want to tell you that from locals, I have it confirmed. First of all, local Hawaiians are very beautiful people.
They are.
I've always found that they are some of the most humble people. I've been touched, moved by the way that they treat people, the kindness that they show.
And even the big Samoans are the nicest people you want to meet.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what happened. This event occurred, and then the Hawaiians swooped in with donations to help their neighbors. Okay, that happened immediately. Okay, large donations swooped in. The government, Larry, seized them. They seized the donations and said that the local Hawaiians were not approved FEMA distributors. And they put all those donations in locked trailers, Larry.
You have got to be kidding me.
I'm telling you it's a fact. And the bottom line is, I think the reason why they locked up those donations is that now I don't know the reason, but this is how I feel about it. I believe that they don't want the donations getting to the hurt families because they want the hurt families to leave the island and leave the area. They're denying them access. And so, Larry, I agree with you that the only place you got to be careful. Don't send your money to Oprah today, folks. Don't send it to any of these organizations. I trust the church-based organizations there in Maui, the same one that Larry is referring to. I believe that it's going to be local people that can be trusted in this situation. They're the only ones I trust.
Wow. That is insane and sad. And if anyone is watching this that could shine a light on that, please do. I keep getting in trouble on this page for veering outside of stocks and just making money. You know what? There's more to life than just making money. I'm just going to leave it right there. I'll be back this weekend and talk about why. Josh, maybe me and you need to make another video. I do a Sunday inspirational. Maybe me and you need to just talk about this. Maybe this just needs to be my Sunday inspiration. We can't sit in the car together at Studio C. So, but we're going to leave it right there. Let's pray for Hawaii. Let's pray for Lahaina. And let's pray that evil people will be moved out of the way. And I know I'm going to take flack for saying this, by any means necessary. All right, I said it. All right, live, love, laugh, and learn. I love you guys, man. Let love be stronger than hate. Please, please. All right, we'll see you guys later. Live, love, laugh, and learn. Make sure, 2 things. Make sure you check out the links below. Download those. You want to learn about options, download the class. Get your free stock from Moo, and then go and follow Stocks with Josh as we continue this conversation. All right. We love you guys. Live, love, laugh, and learn.